Rounding. So the trick that I always have my students use is we want to underline the place value that it's asking for and then draw an arrow to the right of it for what we actually need to round. So it's always the same rounding rules you guys had last year, the year before. If the number that the arrow points to is between 0 and 4, it stays the same, and then everything behind it, everything to the right of it, turns to zeros. If that number, though, that the arrow points to is 5 or above, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we're going to add 1 to it, and everything behind it to the right turns to zeros. So for example, we have the number 3,476 that we need to round to the nearest thousand. Again, it is asking for the nearest thousand. So we underline the thousands place, which is the 3. We draw an arrow directly to the right of it, which is a 4. So that 4 is what we need to look at for our rounding rules. So 4 falls between 0 and 4. So that means my thousands place is not going to change. It's going to remain a 3. It's going to stay the same. And then everything behind it turns to zeros. So that means that 3,476 rounds to 3,000. It rounded down. Our next example, we want to round 219,318 to the nearest 10,000. So again, whatever place value it is asking you to round to, we are going to underline it in the example and the problem, so we know they should look identical. So we underlined the words 10,000, and then we want to underline the place value 10,000, which has a 1 there. Then we want to draw an arrow pointing directly to the right of it because that's the number we have to look at for our rounding rules. So the number directly next to the 1 to the right of it is a 9. That falls between 5 and 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we know that we need to add 1 to it. So 1 plus 1 gives us 2. It's going to change that 10,000s place. And then everything behind it, just like before, turns to zeros. So this time we're rounding up. So 219,318 rounds up to 220,000.